May I please the court, my lady? Morning.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, my lady.
Nelly Siwe, may you please place the matter on record?
Thank you, Judge. Today is the 7th of September, 2022. Calling the matter of Life Esidimeni Inquest, case number I-001 of 2021. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Please, my lady. Good morning, my lady.
Good morning. You?
I've got a camera issue, my lady. I apologize.
Who is that? Is that Mr. Makani?
Yes.
Okay.
My lady, the doctor or Dr. Manamela has been booked off until the 13th of September. I had the told to see where a copy or which we can send.
If I may find out. Miss Hassim?
Thank you, my lady. It's unfortunate that we are in this position. I just wanted to raise a concern from our side about Dr. Salabano starting tomorrow. We have been busy working on preparation for the questioning of Dr. Manamela, and we're not ready for Dr. Salabano. So it's going to be quite difficult for us to be ready to question Dr. Salabano on short notice. We've also divided our team up, and not everybody is available on every day.
Yeah. Can I hear the concerns of others while Mr. Watbringle is busy taking instructions? Yes, who are this?
My lady, we're in the same position as Ms. Hassan. We prepare on a witness by witness basis. So unfortunately, it's unfair to interpose somebody and then expect everybody to be ready on such short notice, because we also divide our team up. We have other responsibilities. That's all that I can say in that regard.
Okay, thank you. Mr. van Bergen?
Thank you, my lady. I just wish to add my voice to those of Mr. Hoders and Ms. Hassan, and perhaps just to raise something else, my lady. In the absence of Dr. Manamela, we were informed yesterday that Mr. Sibara and Mr. Makani were hoping to provide us with a copy of her witness statement, or whatever the document is going to be termed. And I would just like to know if it is possible to provide it with to us at this stage, so that we can at least begin preparing on the contents of it, instead of perhaps having to stand over when she does eventually come to testify.
Okay,
So
thank you very much. Yes. Any other concerns while we're waiting for Mr. Watbringle?
My lady, if I may,
Just before I'll give you the chance, we're still dealing with something else here in relation to what I've requested you to do. It's fine, I'll hear you.
yes.
Can I hear Mr.
It'll assist Mr. Pinar as well, if I can just,
Okay,
if I may,
all right.
be
That's
permitted to
fine.
make one. I hear what my colleagues Hodis SC
Ms. Hasim
and
and Mr.
Ms.
Van der-
Hasim SC say. The question then, I suppose, is when would they be in a position to?
Yes, that's where I was
because
getting.
then that impacts on the discussion that I have with my team. That's
Yes.
why I wanted to interject.
I will deal with that.
Thank you, my lady.
Because I wanted to check. Okay, I'll deal with that. Can I hear first Mr. Pinner?
May it please the court, my lady. My lady, I would submit that the representations made by our learned colleagues, Ms. Hasim and Mr. Hodez, are valid. And maybe if tomorrow is not an opportune date, or this week it appears, my lady, and taking in consideration what our learned friend Mr. Watbringle has just intimated, that if there could be an indication when those parties would be available. But if I read the situation correctly, my lady, the impression I'm gaining is that the remaining parties, and even the suggestions originally put forward by Mr. Watbringle in order to expedite the finalization of the evidence, or the remaining witnesses' evidence, it appeared to have been presented that's in a manner that would also be suitable for what the expectancy is from Mr. Watbringle and his team regarding their client. And
Yes.
therefore they would prefer, that's why the presentation was made in the manner they did. And I think all the parties have now basically accepted that order, if I can refer.
Yes, we understand that, Mr. Pinar, but the fact of the matter is we are now placed in a situation where we cannot follow that order because of what is happening. That is why we have to discuss this now.
I appreciate that, my lady.
Yes.
And maybe I want to, if I may put a suggestion forward, would it not be more appropriate then if Dr. Celebano would be able to accommodate the proceedings in this manner, for them then to commence on Monday?
Yes, that's where I was getting. That's fine. But
Well,
I must first find out from them and also the other parties as to whether they will be able to deal with his evidence on Monday.
Yes.
Because we don't have the assurance as to what will happen on Tuesday or after Tuesday. Because I've looked at the sick note of Dr. Manamela. I don't even want to comment about it because it says she's booked off from the 6th to the 13th. So it means we are also losing 2 days again next week.
Yes, my lady, and Friday.
So, that is why I'm saying it's so unfortunate. I don't even want to go there.
May it please the court, my lady.
Yes, thank you very much.
That in your midst. May it please the court, my lady.
Okay. If I may find out, Mr. Singh and Ms. Hodez and Mr. Van Bergen, I don't know, where is Mr. Late? I don't hear him. I just want to find out from you will you be able to prepare so that on Monday we start with the evidence of Dr. Celebano? Just before I allow
no-
Mr. Late to say anything, can I check with
I
Ms.
have no
Hasim?
problems.
It's
I have
fine,
no
Mr.
problems
Late.
there.
I'll check with you. I'll check with you at a later stage. I just wanted to check if you are present. Ms. Hasim, will that be a problem if, I mean, today it's Wednesday? Because, I mean, you know, these delays, we cannot work like this, I must say. So I'm just pleading with you people, if your legal teams won't be, because at the end of the day, he will start with the evidence. We have agreed that each one of them will be given about 2 weeks, depending as to on how far the evidence goes. So I don't know if he can just start and then you start to prepare. I think, can't we resume on Monday and proceed? Because, you know, I didn't anticipate that we were going to further postpone this matter. It's now a problem to me because I cannot work like this.
Yes, indeed, my lady. It's difficult for all of us to work like this. It's going to be quite difficult. I'm in the process of consulting my team as we are in court now. If your ladyship wishes to proceed on Monday, then we'll do what we need to do to prepare in time for Monday. But
I'm still going. I'm still going to check with the team of Dr. Selebane, but I was just putting this to you first so that we can know as to how we should go about.
Yes, my lady. I suppose, and also, you know, it will save 2 days only if we were to do that, assuming Dr. Manamela comes back on the 14th.
Yes, but I don't want us to take it like that. Once we start with the evidence of Dr. Selebane, we start it and finish it.
That's right.
Right, and then I'll deal with Dr. Manamela once we have agreed now.
My lady,
I've noted you, Mr. Van Bergen.
You know, we would have also preferred that Dr. Manamela goes before Dr. Selebane, but, you know, we really are in your ladyship's hands.
Yes, I understand, and I can see that that is how we had initially determined the sequence of witnesses, but there is nothing. The problem is we can't wait indefinitely, because the problem is we cannot anticipate what will happen on the 14th. And we don't have any guarantee that we might proceed on that day. So rather than us losing the whole month, so let's start with another witness who is prepared to testify.
We will do what we need to do, my lady.
Okay. Mr. Van Bergen?
Thank you, my lady. I don't want to jump the queue. Perhaps your ladyship should first inquire from Mr. Hoders as to his position.
Yes, I was still going to him, but now I saw your hand.
I will await my turn, my lady.
Okay. Mr. Hoders?
Thank you, my lady. My lady, we will accommodate your ladyship, but I need to point out that this is a replay of what happened before the arbitration. So this witness has done this before, and I'll give you the dates and the references. So she's manipulating the whole system, and my lady, she did so. I'll give you the reference on the 20th of November 2017, from page 25977 to page 26037. She applied for a postponement that was refused, exactly as happened in this.
To which date? Come again,
25977. That's where her counsel applied for a postponement, saying that she wants to be furnished with documentation. She's not ready to testify. And then at page 26037, the justice turned around and said, this is nonsense, this matter is running forthwith, they're trying his patience. She then testified for that day, my lady. That was on the 20th.
My lady, if I may.
20th of November 2017. And the matter was then remanded for the next day, and she never appeared the next day and brought a medical note, exactly as happened here.
Okay.
And
can we leave? Yes.
My lady, the
yes, continue. I've noted you, Mr. Makani, or let him finish.
The reference for that, my lady, is page 26. Just bear with me one moment. 26129. Thereafter, the medical notes again. Then the arbitration sat with a dilemma. Justice Moseneki wanted to know, in terms of the Arbitration Act, whether they could issue a warrant for her arrest. They then held it over, and she came back on the day that she had said that she'd come back, and she then commenced to testify, as she had always wanted to do on the Thursday, the 23rd of November. And in this case, my lady, we have the same situation. If you have a look at the Inquest Act, my lady, it's Section 8. Section 8 of the Inquest Act says that the same procedures as in the Criminal Procedure Act apply for the calling of witnesses and witnesses who don't come to testify, and that's from sections 179 onwards in the Criminal Procedure Act. So your ladyship is entitled to issue a warrant and hold it over until her next appearance, which is what I would request be done here, because of the problem that we have. As to the further conduct of this matter, my lady, we will accommodate your ladyship. We don't think it's opportune to have one witness interposed into another witness. The order has been structured from the beginning. It's always been like that. We prepared on that basis. If necessary, we will accommodate, my lady. We're not here to be obstructive. Our team will prepare. I've made it clear I'm not available next week. All that we will request is that the cross-examination stand down in terms of the order of cross-examination, that we'll have the transcript and we'll prepare. We've gone out of our way always to accommodate this matter, and we don't seek any indulgence.
Who is present next week in your team?
The rest of the team are present, my lady. Ms. Governor.
Okay, it's only yourself.
Peterson,
Right.
only myself. But my client is here, my attorney is here, everybody's on board, and we'll
No, that's fine.
Thank you, my lady.
Okay. Before I go to Mr. Van Bergen, just in brief, Mr. Makani.
As the court please, my lady, I'm failing to understand why should we then be issuing warrants, whether it's to be held over or not, and we are now being referred to what transpired at the arbitration, my lady. The circumstances, my lady, are far different from one another, and we can't. We are not medical practitioners. The witness was before court yesterday. Was with us. We knew that she's to proceed. We've even arranged for an interpreter.
I didn't see her. I was told that she's indisposed. I don't know. I didn't see her. You can proceed.
No, she was. The issue was even.
But I didn't see her myself. I didn't see her. I was not told that she's present. It's fine. You can proceed.
She was ready to proceed. Therefore, it is not as if she has.
The witness was ready to proceed yesterday. Is that so?
I'm saying she had presented herself. The circumstances were that she couldn't proceed health-wise. It is not as if she stayed at home and made a phone call and said, "I'm not coming." That is what I'm submitting. But now we're questioning the doctor's note. There's been comments whether it's true or not.
Who's questioning that, Mr. Makani?
My interpretation with what was said by my learned senior advocate Hodes to say this.
Okay.
This, what
all right. He's not questioning if I understood him, he's not questioning the medical certificate. We are all concerned that this delay is now messing everything around, because we all want a finality of this matter.
So is Advocate Manamela, my lady. She also wants finality on the matter.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Van Bergen?
My lady, before I could conclude, I think I saw Advocate Sibara. We are not in the same. I think he might have something. If your ladyship can just give him an opportunity to speak, perhaps he's got something to add on the matter.
Please, the court, my lady. Sorry to interpose, my lady. This is quite unjust, and the court has got the powers to stop legal representations to venture into wrong territories, my lady. This is quite unfair. And my lady, we must be very careful that the media is capturing these proceedings. I'm failing to understand where my land colleague comes from. With sincere respect, my lady, it's quite unfair. There were witnesses before these proceedings, my lady, who are testifying on the stand, my lady. And they on the stand, my lady. This is quite unfair.
Let's not take this thing Just a second, Mr. Sibara. Let's not take this thing out of hand, right? The court is listening. Everyone who wants to address to the court has to be given an opportunity. And on the basis of, just a second, on the basis of the submissions made, the court will take a decision, right?
Thank you so much.
So as of now, thank you very much. I don't want you to come with emotions. I want you to calm down. Yes. At the end of the day, just a second, Mr. Sibara. Yes. At the end of the day, the court must give each one of you an opportunity. Now, I don't want this to lose, to be out of hand, right? I heard you. It's fine. It doesn't. The court is very sober in its mind. It will make a just decision at the end, right? So I'm not going to be controlled by everything that, you know, at the end of the day, the court, that is the reason why the court has to convene and hear you, right? So Mr. Makanya has made submissions. I hear you, right? Just complete your submissions, but don't bring in things that are not there. Yes.
Malady, the court should have stopped my senior advocate Hodas when he detoured to an aspect which was not subject to discussions.
It was not necessary for me to do that. It was not
necessary, my lady, to go to that.
No. The court has to listen to him. At the end of the day, the court will listen to, we'll have to decide on what he has said, isn't it? Like, as I'm listening to you, right?
But my lady, we're discussing if Dr. Silibano can be accommodated next week. And he went to a wrong direction.
I seem to have forgotten Mr. Late. Come again?
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you. Mr. Van Bergen, and then Mr. Watbringel, and then there is also Mr. Late.
Thank you, my lady. I'll be brief. My lady,
yes.
I will be ready to proceed if Dr. Silibano were to start on Monday, and with perhaps the proviso, as my learned friend Mr. Hodes SC suggested, that if it is necessary, that the order of cross-examination perhaps just be changed to accommodate us if it becomes necessary. But I don't anticipate that becoming necessary.
Thank you.
My lady, the only other point I wish to make is
I've noted you, Mr. Pienaar.
Is that having regard to the fact that we are now losing a considerable amount of time, that the parties endeavour to present only relevant evidence, because there is unfortunately a tendency for irrelevant evidence to be tendered, which then has to be dealt with in cross-examination. And I would submit that it would assist the prompt finalisation of the matter if parties could stick to what is relevant, as your ladyship.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Late and then Mr. Watbringel. Then Mr. Pienaar will follow.
Thank you, my lady. I am ready. Whoever testify, I'm just concerned about the fact that the sequence that we envisaged will be the most justifiable sequence is now being tampered with, but I think it can be the damage can be minified. In view of Mr. Sibara's outburst now, I'm not going to make any further comments at the court, please.
Thank you. Mr. Watbringel? If I may, okay, just proceed, Craig.
Thank you, my lady. My lady, I would have been happy to go behind Mr. Pienaar for the simple reason that all I want to ask, my lady, it's not been possible on the one hand to keep track of developments in this discussion and on the other hand to take instructions. So when Mr. Pienaar has had his say and anybody else who still needs to have anything to say, if we could stand until 11, my lady, and then finally deal with this matter. Our mindset is to assist as much as possible, but I do need to discuss this with Dr. Silibano as well as with my team. And
yes, because what we are trying to do is to ask as to whether Dr. Silibano can be ready on Monday and his legal team to continue. Right. Okay.
Yes. No, we understand that, my lady. Yes.
Can I just Can I then go to Mr. Pienaar and then from there you want us to take a break?
If we could just stand till 11, my lady, and then we can We can finalize at 11.
Okay, thank you very
If it
much.
pleases you. Thanks.
Mr. Pina?
May it please the court, my lady. Maybe just to ease emotions, my lady. The reference was made to Section 8 of the Inquest Act, 58 of 1959 as amended. But before a warrant of arrest can be applied for and I would submit be granted by your ladyship, there should have been, the witness should have been subpoenaed, formally subpoenaed to attend, my lady. And I'm not aware of any subpoenas having been issued and served on any of the witnesses, whereby I include Dr. Manamela. But if no such subpoena had been issued, then served, then the emotions are running high without foundation. I would submit. That's all I wanted to present to your ladyship, in a sense that I believe there's no real reason at this stage. There is no request for a warrant of arrest from any of the parties as such formally, my lady. And I would then submit there's no reason or ground for emotions to run or become out of hand regarding this issue. May it please the court, my lady.
Thank you, Mr. Pina. Mr. Late?
If I can ease Mr. Pina's mind, each and every witness was served with a subpoena at the beginning of this matter, and that subpoena is still valid till the matter is finalized.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else? Did I see Ms. Choka's hand, or I don't know?
My apologies, my lady. No, not my hand. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know anymore. I see it's Mr. Sibara, it's Mr. Makani. I don't know. Mr. Sibara, you know, before my mind becomes, I don't know, you know.
Your smile just eased out the tempers, my lady. Thank you. Your smile just eased out the tempers.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, my lady.
Okay. Do you want to say something before I order that we stand the matter down until 11 o'clock, just to hear Mr. Ward Pringle as to whether they will be ready to proceed with the evidence of Dr. Selebanu in the absence of Dr. Manamela? So can we stand the matter down until 11 for now?
As the court pleases.
The court
Thank you.
May it please the court, my lady.
May it please the court, my lady.
Thank you, my lady. My lady, the short answer is yes, Mr. Silabana can testify with effect from Monday. So we indebted for the opportunity to take instructions.
Okay. Thank you very much. I see there is a hand. I don't know whose hand is that. Whose hand is that? Can you please lower your hand? If you don't, there is nothing that you want to take to tell the court. Thank you, Mr. Watbringle. Mr. Hasim?
Thank you, my lady. I confirm that we will do what is necessary to prepare for Dr. Salabano on Monday.
Okay.
I'd like to just say that after consultation with my team, what we request is that we proceed with our cross-examination after Mrs. Mahlangu and Dr. Manamela's questions.
Okay.
Thank you, my lady.
Anybody else that I didn't recognize? Yes, Mr. Van Bergen.
Thank you, my lady. Just to repeat my request that the document that was prepared.
Yes, that's what I forgot.
As you like, please.
Yes. Regarding that document, Mr. Sibara, you indicated yesterday that a document would be uploaded.
That is correct, my lady. I indicated that we're busy trying to finalize the evidence note document when the unfortunate happened. So we are having few paragraphs which we need to run through with our client. We are quite optimistic, my lady, that over the weekend, if push comes to shove, I'll drive to her house and finalize the document, my lady.
It's too far. I mean, yesterday when I heard you, you said the document would be ready by today. So it's too far. I'm going to say, I'm going to order that the document be uploaded or be sent to the other parties by Friday. This Friday, it's when? What date is that?
It's,
yes, we do not want to
September,
prolong this any further. The weekend
September.
is too far.
The 9th of September.
Yes, Friday, the 9th of September.
I mean, the to the court, my lady. We'll do that.
Yes, just before I must say that the court would like to express a point at the level of frustration and displeasure. If you can just move out of the screen, Mr. Sibara, thank you. The court would like to express a point at the level of frustration and displeasure in which things are unfolding. The witness, Dr. Manamela, is a court witness. She was supposed to be at court today. The court received a medical certificate about her unavailability until the 14th of September 2022. When the court is not even aware of the events that transpired in the arbitration hearing, that this has always been the practice, that when she was expected to testify on several occasions, medical certificates were handed in, which rendered it difficult for the matter to proceed. Now, I have before me a medical certificate which I have accepted. Now the question is, am I bound by it? The court can still authorize a warrant of arrest even when the medical certificate has been ended in, because it is not conclusive proof that the witness is so ill until evidence is heard that will substantiate what is contained in the medical certificate. I want to remind you that all these witnesses were subpoenaed for court on the first day they appeared. Consequently, the court authorizes a warrant of arrest against Dr. Makhabu Johanna Manamela, but the issue thereof is held over until the 14th of September 2022. Thank you.
Before the court could adjourn,
yes,
I would like to place a special entry into the proceedings. The court has made a judgment and authorized a warrant which has not been applied for. And further, the court already has made a ruling before the legal representatives of Dr. Manamela were afforded the opportunity. And as such, we request the court, my lady, with the leave of the court, that a formal application should have been filed, which brings the court to this decision. This is what, my lady, I've raised an objection about when my Leonard Senior Advocate Holders went to touch to the issue of the postponement request. Now the court has made a ruling and making references that on numerous occasions this has happened. We have never had the opportunity to look at that record at all, which talks to numerous occasions. And further on that, this court captured it very clearly that all witnesses have been subpoenaed to come to these proceedings. If my mind serves me well, my lady, Rochelle Gordon filed sick with a subpoena in hand. And my lady, we are now interrogating a private and confidential issue of a South African citizen with the rights codified in the Constitution of privacy in a public platform, which in my view, the court should have first move away from the public platform because these proceedings are consumed by the media. Already the court has made a ruling that my client, there's a warrant of arrest authorized against her. Furthermore, I was sitting before these proceedings with Daphne Mahlodindlo, who testified. She fell sick. My apology to mention her, my lady, in a public platform. The circumstances which have just prevailed now here warrant me to say so. Now, my client is being singled out. And the basis upon this singling out is not even be raised. On yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I put it on record that on Monday we consulted until midnight until 11. And in my view, if this court, my lady, is questioning the condition of my client, that goes beyond the right to privacy. And we have therefore contravened that right in a public platform, which, my lady, I'm going to request this court, if all colleagues are going to be invited to comment about my client, I'm going to request that we move away from the public platform because the media is going to be reporting adversely against my client. And my lady, I'm going to request that this court makes a ruling that the issue of my client's condition, whatever, and the medical certificate should not be made public in the media. Dr. Manamela, she's a South African citizen with all the rights codified in the Constitution. And as such, those rights must be protected. She's a court witness, for heaven's sake, for this court.
Mm.
And she should not be singled out. And my lady, the court has made a ruling. We have never commented. It has only been raised by Advocate Holders AC.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, my lady. I'm going to request that we move away from the public platform. These proceedings have been consumed
Just
in the
before
media,
before we do that, is that the feeling of everyone that we move away from the public platform? Mr. Late? You are muted. You are muted, yes. Thank you.
This is open court, and if a witness does not attend open court, it's in the court's discretion to issue a warrant of arrest for such a person. The court held it over till the 14th for her to be available. There is no rule that there should be a formal application for a warrant of arrest.
Thank you. Any other?
The court is in, it has the powers to do that in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act. The mere fact is there is a subpoena and the witness is not present, and the court is in its right to make such to issue such a warrant. A special entry is for irregularity, and this is definitely not an irregularity, as the court is marked.
Thank you. Who's next? I saw there was, is it Mr. Ward Pringle's hand?
Yes, my lady, with great respect to my learned friend, Mr. Sabara, there's in my submission no reason for us to go anywhere or to discuss this matter any further. Your ladyship has issued a warrant and has suspended that warrant. Your ladyship's entitled to do so. Your ladyship is with respect functus sufficio as far as that is concerned. A learned friend can place on record whatever he wants. Your ladyship has not disclosed the medical condition of Dr. Manamela, and the disclosure of a medical certificate was made by her legal team themselves. So to the extent that that could ever be suggested to constitute private information, which I submit it isn't in this context, it's not your ladyship that's made any kind of disclosure. Lady, we're standing down precisely because the parties need to accommodate the unavailability of Dr. Manamela, and the best interests of all parties would be served by us not entertaining this discussion, or your ladyship not entertaining this discussion with Mr. Sapporo any further. Your ladyship has merely said that the certificate is not conclusive. Well, that's obvious, and what that means is the court can, if it deems appropriate, interrogate the veracity of that at a later stage if the need arises. But I'm not going to anticipate what your ladyship's going to do. Lady, my submission is that these proceedings should terminate and that we reassemble on Monday. Thank you, my lady.
Thank you very much. Whose hand I see? Mr. No. Is it, if you can just put your hands down, I see Mr. Late's hands is still up. Ms. Hasim, I've noted you. Just a second. Mr. Ward Pringle's hand is also still up. Yes, Ms. Hasim, you may proceed.
Thank you, my lady. I just want to make a few submissions, if I may. The first is that the court is in control of its own processes. It can't be subjected to and be buffeted by the whims of a witness, whatever the circumstances are that give rise to the witness not appearing. It's the court's power and responsibility to control its own processes. And that's exactly what this court has done by issuing the warrant and suspending it. So there's no need for an application to be made in order for that type of a warrant to be issued. The second thing is that court processes are always public processes. The only difference in this case is that it's being live streamed. And the reason for that is because of the particular nature of these proceedings, which is an inquest that's meant to be a public airing, and that it allows witnesses, it allows the family members, and it allows the general public who have been concerned about the events that are related to this inquest for a long time. It allows them to be able to witness the inquest as it unfolds. So there's no case here for the proceedings to be held behind closed doors. And so any suggestion of that should not be tolerated by this court. Thank you, my lady.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Sibara, do you want to say something before I close the matter? Are you still there, Mr. Sibara? Yes.
I'm still here.
Yes.
We respect the court ruling, and I don't think there's any need for us to go back to it. And it's the court has made a ruling. Colleagues have spoken. It's okay.
Thank you very much. As Mr. Sibara has said, the court has made its ruling, and I don't think there is any need for us to take this matter any further. The proceedings are therefore adjourned to Monday, the 13th of September 2022 for the evidence of Dr. Selebanu. Thank you very much.
Sorry, my lady.
Yes.
Monday is the 12th of September.
Are we postponing to the 13th or to the 12th, Mr. Dr. Selebanu?
Monday, the 12th, my lady.
Yes, so the proceedings are therefore adjourned to the 12th of September so that we can proceed with the evidence of Dr. Selebanu. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May it please the court.
As the court pleases.
May it please the court.
May it please the court, my lady.
As the court
As the court pleases, my lady.